Hi, this is Sri with a review of the Zoom GT Cut 2. I wasn't a big fan of the Zoom GT Cut 1 because it had a very, what it did was it laid out something good and then it negated it by kind of burying it under something that negates it or that doesn't really work together. Like, you make this really, okay, for instance, I was trying to make peanut butter cream. The peanut butter is kind of sticky, and then you see those pastries shops. They have those nice creamy peanut butter. So I tried to make it, and apparently it requires a lot of butter. So adding butter and cream to an ordinary peanut butter makes it peanut butter cream. But I failed to listen to one important note. It's got to be unsalted butter. But I just ignored it and used salted butter. So in the end, the peanut butter was nice and creamy, but it was super salty. So that's what the Zoom GT Cut 2 is, or the Zoom GT Cut has always been. They got something good going on. They got the right ingredients, but then they do something stupid to completely negate their efforts. Well, first of all, for a size 9, it weighs about 394 grams. It's pretty heavy for a shoe that's coming out these days for guards. And it feels heavier than what the digits show, actually. The silhouette is pretty similar. It has this really dense, thick plastic all around the heel that kind of makes that clunkiness, that clunky thud, the clunky thudness that negates the smooth transition or the shock absorption of the heel. That's important because the heel is already sorely lacking in cushioning for a number of reasons. So yeah, I don't know where to start. Okay, first of all, the outsole, the pattern, if you remember the Mamba Mentality series from several years back, they tried to go with something that's durable and cheap. Yeah, this is sort of like durable and cheap. The pattern's grooves are really deep and big. The nodules are big and deep, or the nodules are long. So what it does is it's not as dust sensitive, but it's not as tacky. It does not grip the court as well as the Kyrie-like patterns that we've had in the Zoom GT Cut 1. So if you're an outdoorsy hooper or if you play in dusty courts, yeah, I guess this is the better option. But then, I don't know, if you're paying close to $200 to get a shoe that's not giving you that extra grip or that extra oomph in the grip like the GT Cut 1s, that's definitely a downgrade. Durability wise, I guess it's a little bit of an upgrade, but yeah, the fit is a little weird. It's got this banana shape going on here. So because our foot, when you slide your foot in the shoe, you're not gonna be this way. The toes are gonna be pointing this way. So your big toes are sort of like here usually. And when the shoe is curved inward like that, that means you're gonna have extra room in your big toe area. But for your pinky toe and the other toes, it's gonna be all jammed and squeezed. So if you go up half a size, you will feel a slightly better comfortable fit around the pinky toe area, but then you'll feel this enormous void around your big toe area. That's the banana inward curved fit, I suppose, a downside to having that kind of a cut. But if your foot is shaped like that and you have a really big toe and very tiny, you don't need a lot of space for your pinky area, and you have a really sharp foot that's curved, then this is a perfect fit for you. Ordinarily, I would say true to size or half a size up, because yeah, this will hurt. Speaking of this little part, this curvature, the outrigger or the midsole that's protruding out, it's great. The outrigger, the stoppage to prevent ankle inversion, ankle rollover, this is really good. One of the best I've experienced, so that's definitely deserving of some props. Overall, the padding is nice, decent all around, except this little part out around the lateral area. It kind of it's very sharp. Although it looks cushioned on this part outside, it's very rigid and sharp, and it actually pinched into my ankle a little bit. So depending on the anatomy of your foot, the shape of your foot, your ankle, I suppose it might fit okay, it might hurt a little bit. So make sure you lace them up and decide if it works or if it chafes in. Yeah, breathability, it's kind of like GT1, not too bad. They don't have like crazy thick layers inside. The fit on toe box area, there's no dead space here, so that is very good. The lace loops come down pretty close to your toes, so the lockdown is pretty decent. The zoom air and the setup, they have a zoom strobel inside, The difference, one difference from the Zoom GT1 is that they've actually covered it up to provide like an extra shroud, an extra strobel on top of the Zoom strobel, so you won't see that plastic to plastic action, because once the drop-in midsole is in contact with that Zoom Zoom Air, you know, it's better to have something in between to you know, try and extend the life of the Zoom Air, which is exposed. You don't want the entire plastic to be exposed, but it doesn't really matter because it's concave and it actually cups around the Zoom strobel and it doesn't slide around to begin with. But okay, it's better than nothing. It's curved to give a very decent heel to toe drop. The Zoom strobel itself, it's not flat, but it's kind of like curved, so it's raised here a little bit and it goes down closer to the ground. So that in itself is a pretty good setting. You can actually wear some thick insoles with this and feel that this is a very nice low to the ground shoe with good heel to toe drop, or a good offset. But here comes the midsole, drop-in midsole to screw everything up. It's curved like this, like a high heel. So if it fits like this in the shoe, that's good. But because this heel part is so thin, this is probably like twice or 2.5 times thicker than the heel. So it's elevated again once you wear the shoe. So even if there's a good elevation in heel to toe drop in the shoe itself, this drop-in midsole negates it and actually worsens it, because the forefoot React is really thick. I already told you the Zoom strobel really gets the job done. You just need a decent thick insole and it'll feel nice. But with this, it feels really high off the ground. So that's something you want to consider. I mean, the fact that you want to get Zoom GT cuts is because you want low to the ground feel. So this is a killer. And they've added a Zoom Air here, but you don't really feel it. Yeah, where's the love? I don't feel it. Yeah, you don't feel it. The Zoom GT1 actually had a Zoom Air on the outsole area, but you didn't really feel that either. But this, you feel even less of it. So that's a killer. They did put a little fabric coating here to prevent sliding or sweating or little dots from poking you. So that's a nice upgrade. But so, yeah, very little upgrade, pretty much the same, except there's a bigger heel drop and a bigger forefoot elevation, so it keeps you higher off the ground. So it's weird. It's a weird shoe. If you like the Zoom GT Cut ones, you're in for a bit of a unpleasant surprise in that sense. But if you didn't mind having a elevated forefoot cushioning like you've had the Zoom GT Cut once, because I thought the React forefoot unit was unnecessary, or they could have made it thinner. This is really fatal, thick, double time, super thin, and it's gonna go this way. So